picking, seeing light in a station bar and traveling far in sin, sailing downstairs in a northern line, watching the shine of the shoes, hearing the trials of the people there, who's to care if they lose. Take a look, you may see me on the ground, for I am the parasite of this town. Mike's Music Method. Come on in, everybody. Whew, the last probably month I've been on a serious Nick Drake deep dive. Always liked the dude, but after learning a couple songs, today we're doing Parasite, and I did Road, or I'm doing Road. The tutorial will be out soon for both of these. But holy cow, do I have a newfound appreciation for this kid and his picking. If you don't know Nick Drake, of course, go check him out. His first record is fantastic. Pink Moon is unbelievable. The second one suffers from quite a bit of overproduction, in my opinion, but I'm not here to knock Nick Drake. I'm here to applaud him and his genius finger picking. If you're eager, jump ahead and jump right in the tutorial. Timestamps are always down below. If you are new to Mike's Music Method, what I do here is I listen to this song and get the best transcription I can, and then I bring it to you all, and I walk you through it step by step. Believe it or not, I may be a dummy, but the tabs are free. Go to my website, you can snag the tab. I'll put them up here as well. But it's better when you have the whole PDF printed out, or at least you're looking at the whole PDF. So go grab that. Of course, join the mailer. Consider the value for value model. More on that later. But give what you can. It's the honor system. Just note, this song is not an easy song. It's tuned real goofy, and sure, the tab might look easy, but this right-hand pattern, you gotta use a lot of ring finger. It's goofy. This is not a beginner song. If you're new to finger picking, check out my Travis picking playlist. Go through a bunch of those before you attempt to tackle this one. But my gosh, is this rewarding. You're gonna learn a goofy tuning, and it just sounds so full and rich and unique. And what's really funny, my wife, who, you know, she's not a huge Nick Drake fan. She likes him when I put him on. But every time I'm playing a riff, and even if I don't start singing it, she goes, "That's a Nick Drake riff, isn't it?" And just like, yes, it is. How'd you know again? Because his picking is so darn unique and incredible, and I'm just real excited to bring you this song. I spent forever transcribing it. I did get some help from another tab on the internet. I will shout out the name. Thank you, Chris Healy. You saved me a ton of time because there's no way I would have figured out this tuning with the capo on the 3rd fret. My tab's a little bit different than what Chris had done. I think I found some mistakes that Chris left out, but I will thank him tremendously for saving me. I don't know how many hours it would have taken me to figure out that goofy tuning with the capo on the 3rd fret. So give credit where credit's due. Thank you, Chris. One final little side note. I'm going to talk about this guitar one day, but let's just say, I don't know if he wants to be named, but I just received a very generous value for value gift. Someone who really appreciated Mike's Music Method got me this fine work of art. I don't have words right now. Maybe I'll make a video in the future. No words right now. But I just wanted to point it out. Value for value model in action. Hats off. Thank you. That being said, these are brand new strings, so, you know, bear with the sound. I know some people love the new string sound, so you'll love it, but it's a little jangly for me. Let's go over the goofy tuning here. Our E is dropped down all the way to a C. Then the A goes down a little bit to a G. The D goes down, again, a whole step to a C. So C, G, C, almost like open D, but open C. It's even lower. Then our G goes down, again, whole step to the F. The B actually goes up a half step to a C. So we have another C. and then the E stays an E. Real goofy tuning here. So again, C, G, C, F, C, and E. Now you gotta throw the capo on the 3rd fret, make sure you stop. Boom! Measure 1. So we got our crazy open tuning. What we're gonna do here is we are gonna play the 5th fret. Now I know the capo is weird, usually the 5th is a dot, but the 5th is not gonna be a dot because we're actually on the 8th fret now, because 3 plus 5 is 8. And we'll talk about which finger to use as we move on here, but something we're gonna have to pay attention to. Don't worry about it quite right now. Let's just get the right hand going, because this is what's complicated about this song. What we're doing is we're pinching 6 and 3, and we're doing that 5th fret. Now, I would highly encourage you, after having played this through a bunch of different ways, I would have you do your middle finger there, where we're doing thumb and middle on 6 and 3. Then my thumb goes to the 5th string after that, so 6 and 3, thumb on 5. Then we are gonna pinch the 4th and 2nd string, and that's gonna be weird if you're not used to that. We are gonna do a lot of that in this song. So we're pinching with our pointer and our ring finger, and there's really no way around it. I suppose you could stretch and do pinch with your pointer and your middle, but that's gonna be real awkward. So I suggest getting that ring finger in some decent shape here. So again, pinch 6 and 3, thumb alone. Then I'm pinching with my pointer and my ring finger on 4 and 2, and they're both open. Then I go back to the 6th string with my thumb. That's the first measure, but that is where you're gonna need to be spending all your time. No joke, I sat there a good 4, 5, 6, several days in a row, probably like a week of just getting that down before I felt comfortable to even put it in the context of music. So go slow, don't practice mistakes, and remember your prep work. So real slow, I'm gonna pinch thumb and middle. Then the moment I play this thumb on the 5th string, I'm prepping these two. I'm gonna lift these up so you can see, right? It's my pointer and my ring. Then I go back to the 6th string. So let's just loop that. 3, 4. And you'll notice the goofiness of that thumb pattern. 6, 5, back to 6. And then in the song, you gotta get that real fast. Good news is the next measure is pretty darn similar, but real complicated because the picking's goofy. So here we're gonna pinch real big. I'm doing my thumb, my pointer, and my ring on 5, 3, and the 1st string. So I got that big old pinch. Remember, thumb, pointer's on the 3rd string, ring is on the 1st. I'm letting all those ring out. Then my thumb again plays the A string, but then my pointer and my ring now pivot back to where they were in the 1st measure, on the 4th and 2nd string. So you know a lot of this song is that pointer ring finger going back and forth. Strings 1 and 3, and then strings 2 and 4. And that alone is a great little practice. Right? Can you get a good tone where you're grasping towards your palm? I do finger picking workshops. I got an ebook about to launch. You can take private lessons, group lessons, because this concept alone is not easy. And if you don't have any good experience with classical finger picking, doing a lot of ring finger work is going to be complicated. If you're a beginner to that, check out, there's a couple Blaze Foley songs I have. I believe one is Our Little Town, and then the other one is Ooh Love. I have a couple Blaze Foley tunes where he does arpeggios where he incorporates that ring finger. So build up and down, go slow, but I would recommend a little private instruction if you're not used to that, because you want a nice grasp. Let's do those first 2 measures together because they are hard. 2, 3, 4. Easy enough to intellectualize, very hard to execute. The great news is that is the main motif of the song. So if you got that down, if you're one of the lucky ones where that comes naturally to you for some reason, then you'll breeze through the rest of the song because that's basically it. Now what he does here is he hammers on to the 4th fret. So we pinch and we hammer onto the 4. So instead of 5, we're just dropping it chromatically to 4. So again, I'm using my middle finger to pinch 6 and 3 with that hammer on. And it's the same as measure 1. Thumb goes to the A string, pointer and ring, play 4 and 2. And I go back to my thumb. On the 6th string again. Then measure 4, same as 2. I'm going to pinch thumb, pointer, ring on 5, 3, and 1. So again, the pointer and ring went up from 4 and 2 to 1 and 3, right? We talked about that shift. So now it shifts up, thumb on 5, and then they shift back down to 4 and 2, then back to the thumb on 5. Measure 5, the exact same thing, but we just hammer on to the 3rd fret. And then measure 7 and 8 are a little bit different. 7's the same because we just hammer on to 2. But here we hammer again. So we have the same pinch on 5, 3, and 1, like that, but we hammer into it. 5, shift to 4 and 2, 5 again. So that's it. You've seen all the material. Let's play that nice and slow for measure 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the ending 2 measures repeat a bunch, 4 times actually. Something to note here, for me, the very confusing part to get it fast is the thumb doing 6, 5, 6, 5, 5, 5, 6, 5, 6. Something about doubling back to that 6. My brain did not want to compute that. Take this slow. The slower you go at the beginning and really train your fingers to do it slow without mistakes, the quicker it's all going to come to you. Now, just so you guys can hear it up to speed here, or kind of up to speed at least. That's it. We're going to breeze through the rest of the song, at least in terms of understanding how to play it. The actual playing it is the hard part for this one. So let's talk through it. We have the verse, and it's basically the same thing. Now here we'll talk about the left-hand fingers. Just note that this is descending, and the only thing I'd recommend is that by the end point, you want the middle finger to be on the 2. So I don't really care if you do like ring, middle, 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 or if you do pinky, ring, middle, middle. But I want you to end that 2nd fret, and you'll see here why, because we're going to get these occasional pull-offs. So you really want to end with your middle finger on that 2nd fret. And here, let's just talk through it. Measure 9 is the same. We got the 5 down. Whenever he's singing, he's not doing the hammer on, so it's just 5. Exactly the same. Down to 4. Right, all the same as the intro. 3. Then a different little hammer-on part. I think that was the same. Yeah, it's the same as that first one. We hammer onto 2. 5th string, back to the 6th. But here it's different in measure 16. What he does is the pinch as usual on 5, 3, and 1, right, with the thumb, pointer, and ring. But we have to put our first finger down on the 1st fret, and we pull that off. So we have the 2nd fret there. 1st fret's on the 1st string, 1st fret. Back to 5, 2 and 4, back to 5. So everything else is the same except you have that pull off. Shaboom! The value for value model. Guys, this is where I really encourage you to consider the value for value model. I put a lot of my time, talent, and treasure into these tutorials, and I ask that you give back. What I'm trying to do here is I do keep everything quote unquote free, at least available to everyone, because I want people who are hard on cash or people who just can't financially prioritize music in their life to be able to find these videos and not be turned away by a paywall and I get so many touching emails from people all over the world, young people, older people, retired people looking to learn guitar, and that's awesome. So thank you. That does count as value for value. If you've been moved by this video, writing me a lovely email saying you learned something goes a long way in keeping me motivated. That being said, I feel like this is great stuff out there, and so I encourage you all to chip in if you can financially. If I was over in your neighborhood and we were meeting together locally and you were learning these songs from me, clearly you'd help me out and kick me some coin. I know I'm just a face on the internet, but I am a real guy with children and bills to pay and stuff. So the value for value goes like this. Maybe you're consuming 2 or 3 of my videos a month. That might be worth $100 to you a month, right? Instead of taking guitar lessons. So maybe the value for value is you sign up for a $100 a month plan. Maybe that's not in your budget. Maybe you're only doing a one-off. Can you give me $10 a month? Is that, am I providing you with $10 of value every month? What about $5, $2? So it's up to you to decide value for value. Someone else just gave me this beautiful work of art as their value for value, as I already said in the beginning. Whoo! So I'm not expecting you to buy me a freaking unbelievable guitar. But what is the value for value model for you? I want to crank out more videos. The more people who give, the more time you're buying me to make more of this, great content. I think it's accurate. I try to encourage you, try to teach it the right way. Hard stuff, but you get what I'm saying. Not to toot my own horn, but I feel like I've got a very good niche here with songs that not a lot of people are doing tutorials on. I'm starting to ramble. I just can't encourage you enough I'm a real guy. Please consider the value for value model. That's it. Onward with the song, you get the deal. Measure 17, same idea, but he pulls off of 3. So I got my pinky down on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. Here's what's weird. This one I am hearing him do 5, 5, 6. So beware, I try to get it as accurate as possible, but in general he's doing 6, 3, 6, 5, 5, 5 in terms of what the thumb is doing. Usually when he ends it, he's always just banging out that 5th string. Occasionally he doesn't, like in this instance. I guess because measure 18 is more like the end of the phrase where he is doing all the 5s. So let's do that again. 17, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kind of a weird one there, but then into 18, back to that 1st fret pull off. And that's the whole verse. The verse would repeat from measure 9 every time to 16, but he has different endings. Now, don't obsess on this. Just learn a couple of them and play the ones that sound cooler, because when he sings again later on in the 2nd verse, he does different endings. So, these are the endings that he's playing around with. It's up to you. Do you want to vary them every time? Is there one in particular that you like more? I really like the 3-1 pull-off idea that I just showed you. But keep in mind, the 2nd time he ends differently, and that's in measure 19 here, where he just does the hammer onto 2, then the pull-off on 1. And then he repeats back to 9 again for another verse. So he also does that ending for the 4th time. That's why it says 2 and 4 in the tab. But the 3rd time, he does something a little different than the other ones, which he does the hammer at the beginning. Here's measure 21. It's the same. But then here, he just hammers again, kind of like he did at the beginning of the song. So those are your different endings. Don't care which one you pick. It's up to you. It's not really going to make a big difference in how it sounds. Let's move on to the chorus. A little later in the video, we will talk about singing it, but let's learn the chorus guitar part first. Good news is that this chorus is just a simplified verse, really. So if we look at our tab in 23, the only hard part, depending on the action of your guitar, is you have to do 1, 1, and 1 on 6, 5, and 4. I can bar all of them pretty easy. But if you want to try to smash all your fingers in there, that's your call. I'm just going for the bar. Only hard part about that bar is you got to lift it because the 3rd string is going to sound open, and that's the tricky part. So I'm only barring those lowest 3, and it's got to be a crisp bar there. So when I lift off, I can hear that 4th string the 3rd string open. And we do the same picking pattern. I'm pinching 6 and 3 with my thumb and middle. Thumb alone on 5. Oh, see there, I kind of farted it. There we go. Then my thumb's on 5. Pointer and ring do 4 and 2. Thumb back to 5. So exactly the same picking concept, just a different chord. And then we we followed up with the same pattern again, continued in 24. Oh, and I take it back. This time he is doing, every time his thumb pattern is 6, 5, 5, 6, 5, 5. So it's just the same thing 4 times in a row. And that's where he goes, take a look, see me on the ground. So I'm singing the totally wrong melody. But you get the idea. I'm thinking too much. That's where that part is. And then he goes into the fill. And here, again, playful with ideas we've already seen. So 27 we've already seen, just a hammer onto 2. Goes to 6 at the end. Then he does a pull off on 1. This time he goes to 6 as well. 29 is a pull off from 3, ending on 6. But then the very last time he does a pull off on 1 again. And every time the thumb is hitting the 5th string. So let's do those 3 together from 27, 2, 3, 4. '31, we go back to that barring the first frets. Same thing. And here is the, the parasite of this town. And we have a transition here, which is a little different. We'll look it over, but like I said, it's up to you to decide how you want to do it. So 35 is just that hammer on the 2nd fret. Then we have the pull off from the 1st, hammer again on the 2nd. Then he does this one real sparse in 38. Basically there, guys, we have another verse and chorus. That's it. There's no bridge in this song. And then the final chorus, it just ends differently, where he's holding out. Oh, sorry. Very last time, what's the lyric there? From your skirt or something? He holds that out 6 times, or he does it 6 times in a row before he ends it, which, let's do the outro here from measure 41. Again, final chorus, when you're listening, you'll notice he holds one lyric for a long time. I think it's on the word skirt. And he's just banging away. Does it 6 times longer. Then here is the outro. 41, we just hammer on 2. Pull off on 1. Same thing, hammer on 2. Then here we just pinch 44. And that's what I was talking about a moment ago. This might be, measure 38 might be this, right? I said maybe it's just these 2, but I'm pretty sure he's doing all 3 of them. Then 45, here is like I guess the true outro, right? He does revisit the beginning of the song here. Hammer on 5, pinch, hammer on 4, hammer on 3. So they're all hammers this final time. Hammer on 2. And check that out. There he just does this really sparse kind of back and forth. He just does 5, 4, 5 at the end of measure, what am I at, 52. Then that would repeat again from 45, all the hammer-ons. And then the second ending here, we jump to measure 53, hammer-on. And it's more sparse. So we got the hammer-on there, thumb on the 5th, and then this is what always happens, pinch 1 and 3, but then go right back to 6. And then he ends it by pinching 5, 4, and 2. So 53 and 54 together, 3, 4. What a song, huh? Before we do the slow run-throughs, let's learn how to sing and play it together. So let's take it from measure 9, assuming you've practiced the heck out of this. Do that before you sing. That's step number 1. Number 2 is maybe you just strum it. 1, 2, 3, 1. Lifting the mask from a local clown, feeling down like him. Once that feels comfortable and you have the phrasing just strumming, then maybe introduce the picking. Let me just kind of, let me get them sort of coming from that hammer, I guess. Lifting the mask from a local clown, feeling down like him. And that's it. You know, basically the stanzas repeat with different words. So go slow. I know that's really complicated. Lifting the mask from a local clown, feeling down like him. And it could be my phrasing's off. I've been more obsessed with this picking the last few weeks than singing it. But that's the idea with the verse. Sing the chorus, same idea, strum it first. Take a look, you may see me on the ground. For I am the parasite of this town. And then you try to play it all together with the picking. Take a look, you may see me on the ground. For I am the parasite of this town. Get the idea, go slow. Make sure you're super well rehearsed with your picking and that you can just strum the chords and that your vocal phrasing, you have the timing right. I probably don't. Listen to Nick do it. And only when you have them both separate do you try to ease them together over time. Boom! Don't forget, over at mikesmusicmethod.com, I have 2 ebooks. One's about to launch, the second one's about to launch. One that's all about strumming. Another one is all about finger picking. Ooh, when this one launches, if this video's out, that means it's going to be launching pretty darn soon. It's great. So check out my website. There's also the All Access Atkins plan where you can get video replays of my workshops. And check out, we got some group classes. We've got a Poncho and Lefty workshop happening this month. So all that is on the website. Check it out. Grab an ebook. Join a workshop. Also on the All Access Atkins plan, it's $14 a month. You get access to my Guitar Journeyman course as well as my 2 ebooks. So that one is a steal. And once the second ebook is done, I'm going to be putting a lot of time into that. I've got 25 just real big lessons planned. 2 of them are already complete, and it's just going to be walking you through a lot of guitar stuff and making you a great guitarist. But enough about that. You're here to learn Parasite. Let's keep going. Slow run-throughs. Let's do the intro. We're just going to go to measure 8 from the top. 1, 2, 3. Slow run of the verse. We'll take it from measure 9 and let's actually do all the different endings here. 1, 2, 3. Second ending is the same as the fourth. Slow run of the chorus for measure 23, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3. Slow run of the outro. So after he does that long repeating thing on the chorus, we go to measure 41. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, 5. Dynamite!